What's going on, people? It is your boy back with another episode. This is episode 7 on this amazing YouTube journey so far. Hopefully, y'all are enjoying the content. Hopefully, y'all are appreciating the information. And hopefully, y'all just really fuck with my perspective on this because that's all I'm really doing. Perspective, a little bit of facts, a little bit of education, and things of that nature. But today, it's episode 7 titled The Real Big Three. Now, if any of you watch any sport, specifically basketball, they're always talking about a big three. You know, um, when LeBron joined Miami, it was him, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, big three, high expectation, championship expectations. It's pretty much championship or bust. Meaning, if you didn't win it all, your season was a failure. And here we are, Richard Hart ecosystem. We have a big three. And is it championship or bust expectations? In my opinion, it is. But it's not for the reasons that you might think it is, but it's more of like real deal reasons. There's a lot more riding on this than 10,000x in 2 year gains. Now, don't get me wrong, 10,000x in 2 years is very high on my list. But in the grand scheme of things, it's championship or bust for a multitude of different reasons. Personally, I think 10,000x is the floor. I think that a minimum of 10,000x. And that's why I said it's championship or bust. The bust is 10,000x. The championship, 100,000, 200,000x. And yes, there is some hopium in that. And there is a little bit of like, okay, maybe that can happen. But realistically, at my heart of heart, I do believe that's possible. And I'm going to talk about some of those things as we get into it. But before I get into that, I want to speak on something else first. I want to speak on um, Richard Hart in the spaces last week. So I've been out of town again. I do a lot of traveling. Sorry, y'all. So I can't make videos when this stuff be happening, even though I wish I could. But I was listening to the Twitter Spaces, him and like Tone Vase, and had a couple other nobodies in there. And one thing I learned, man. Well, I've always known this, but one thing I liked and I didn't like it. Now I didn't like it because I don't like Richard Hart talking to people who are literally just fucking losers. And I'm gonna say it that way. I could have censored myself there, but I didn't. That's what these people are. That's what these Bitcoin guys are. They're fucking losers. And it's funny because they're a walking contradiction. They think that they're smart, but they're really not. Like they might be smart in general, but they're not Richard Hart smart. And that's ultimately I when I listen to those things, I see it. And me being a Richard Hart realist, I can see it, and I'm like, wow, he's really just taking these guys' lunch money. He's bullying them. Like, please stop. My God, why are you guys even trying to talk? But then I'm like, they're so beneath us at this point that we really don't gain nothing from them because this is all they do. Oh, I don't believe that. Okay, Richard Hart's like, that's facts, bro. I don't believe it. Here's another one. I don't care about the price. Isn't it funny that every single Bitcoin maxi, every single one, don't care about the price, but yet during the bull market they were hollering Bitcoin to 100K, never selling, hodling, But now they don't care about the price. Now that it's down, and then the piece de resistance is that they're just not smart. They're not. They say the same recycled garbage over and over, and they can't. They're contradictionary people, and then they're also pathological liars because they talk all this shit about everything else. But I can bet you money that they're in Hex or they were in Hex, they free claimed it, and I can bet you money they sacrificed for Pulsechain. And the only reason I know this is because actually there's two sides to this coin. One, either you're just an idiot to miss the Pulsechain sacrifice if you knew about it, right? So if you knew about it, if you saw what Hex had done, even if you didn't like Richard or not, you're gonna be an idiot to miss that potential play because minus like I don't know Satoshi coming back from the dead and saying that he's coming out with another Bitcoin or Vitalik saying that they're going to come out with something new. Who really has a track record that'll make you like say like, oh man, I can get into this early, even if I just threw like some kind of money into it. So they're in it. But then on the flip side, they have to maintain this position that is Bitcoin or nothing else, and so they lie to their supporters. That's what they're doing. They're lying to them by making it seem like that they're not in nothing else but Bitcoin. But that's just a lie because regardless of what they say, more contradictions when they be like, I'm in it for the tech, or I'm in it for the potential. Let me tell y'all something, all right? I don't know how many of y'all that listen to this are live in another country and have traveled the world. I've traveled the world extensively. I can tell you one thing for certain, two things for sure. Bitcoin in my lifetime will not become no kind of global reserve currency. For the simple fact that, do you know what all nations would have to fall before they accepted a currency that they don't control to be the currency that rules them all? I just want y'all to think about that. Right now, the US is the global reserve currency. And before that, I want to say it was the Great British Pound. Think about all the things that the US and Great Britain have done in the last 100 years that will give you any inkling that if somebody could dethrone the US dollar, that they wouldn't try to implement their currency into place. Right now, as we're speaking, I want to say Belarus, Russia, India, China, South Korea is forming what's called BRICS, which is trying to come up with their own reserve currency. So they could have adopted Bitcoin, but why didn't they? Because they don't control Bitcoin. And yes, most people are like, well, oh yeah, they can't control it, so yeah, Bitcoin, this and stuff. But there's the problem. It would never be it because they can't control it. These people are not going to give up power that easy. So that's why it won't happen in our time. It's going to take a lot of crazy things to happen in this world before it could become the reserve currency. So they're lying when they say that that's what they're in it for. They might be in it for it, but that's a pipe dream or whatnot. They either they know that's not going to happen and they just repeat that narrative because the price is sucky right now, or they really think that's going to happen, and that's scary because then they're not really tuned into what the world what's happening in real life. Not make believe fantasy land, but what's happening in real life. So that's the first thing. And another thing, that I'm in it for the tech, but then when Rich Hart be pressing them, they what he was like, hey, then educate me then. Crickets. So, I just wanted to speak on that real quick because these guys are annoying. I wish Richard wouldn't talk to these folks no more. I get what he's trying to do, but at this point in time, if they still want to act like that Richard's some kind of scammer and that they're the saviors of the space, then they can just think it. And the people who believe them, who are too narrow minded and short minded to believe to think that Richard is a scammer and to believe them, then fuck them straight like that. Fuck them. You know, it is what it is. One thing I've learned is that you're not gonna be able to save everybody or whatnot. I have friends right now that I be trying to save, trying to get into this crypto stuff, and just like I'm pretty sure y'all be trying to get your folks into this crypto stuff, they don't want it. They don't care about it, but they're gonna be bitching and moaning when the price is up high and we win it. So it is what it is or whatnot. But that's my little 2 cents on that. I just wanted to speak on that because I wasn't able to react to it live as it happened. But yeah, so now that I'm off that little tangent, let me get back to the real episode, the big three, the real big three. So I've done an episode about Pulsechain and Hex being Shaq and Kobe. I've done an episode about Pulsex with the scorpion fatality on the front. Why it's going to incinerate everything. Why it's going to break the mold. But now let's talk about them all together or whatnot. And I think that this is a good time to talk about them all together because in similar fashion to what I just previously spoke on, I think people need to really understand that they're living in a time of potential greatness. And the only reason I say potential greatness because it's not out yet. If it was out, I would say I would be crowning it. Put the crown on it, right? Or whatnot. And these things all have a hand. It's like a three-man weave, another basketball term to go along with the three-man greatness. Um, you have three interchangeable things that will bounce off of each other, that will reflect off of each other, and will ultimately help each other. And they're all going to grow. They're all going to grow at tremendous rate and pace. And who knows what's going to end up on top as far as the top gainer. That's the best. That's the beauty of it, right? If you're in all three, it's like you're like, okay, well, even if you bought Hex today at 4 cents, I think that it still has another tremendous leg up to go, especially during the next bull market when we can see if everything continues like how it has continued. Why couldn't the crypto market cap double from the previous all time high? So I'm just going for the sake of simple numbers. If we just say the last all time high for the total crypto market was 3 trillion, who's to say that on the next bull cycle it can't go to 6 trillion? So there's gonna be a lot of money that flows into these blue chippers, And that's what Hex is. It's a blue chipper. So let's not sleep on Hex. Let's not think just because it's already up a lot that it Pulsechain and Pulsex are going to outgain it. But in totality, does it really matter? Does it? I don't think it does. I think that just being associated with these three things are going to lead to insane wild gains because what is there left to check off as far as the next leg up? And that's a term that we use in the chart world, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, whether it's forex, it's the next leg up. So you have the rise, then a consolidation period, a sideways trading, excuse me, and then the next leg up, the next time it shoots up to the highs. Well, let's put this into realistic perspectives. Let's take fanboy, let's take moonshots, let's take all this out of this. The crypto market is evolving rapidly. Every bull cycle, there is new innovation that comes to the space. Now, I'm not going to sit over here and act like I've been around crypto since 2011 or something. I got the crypto late. I got here in 2020. But I like to do a lot of research. I like to know what happened before I got here so I know what to avoid that's repackaged or whatnot. Now, I wish I had took that advice before I jumped into crypto because I could have missed a lot of scams that were just repackaged from 2017. But hey, you live and you learn, and experience is a good teacher. An expensive one, but a good teacher. I won't make those mistakes again. But here we have every new bear market breeds new innovations. So here we are, we're going to come out of this bear market, and we've already had, we got NFTs that are going to come back with a vengeance. I think that you might see a different kind of NFTs. You're not going to see pictures of monkeys and stuff, but next iterations, Hedron, encapsulated stakes, they're going to have some real utility. You're going to see ETH that everybody's so waiting on Ethereum 2.0, and then it's gonna fall short because they're going to realize that wow, gas fees suck. You have Bitcoin that's going to go from 20K. Oh, actually, let's just say that the bear market. Let's just use Richard Hart's bottom call of 11K and pray, right? So it's going to go from 11K back to 69K. A little it's a little 6x, 6.9 if my math is correct, right? 6.9x. So the gains are going to start to get weaker, slower, limpier, as he always say, and we're going to be in a prime situation. So one thing that I really notice about this whole argument between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then Hex is that people want a quote unquote decentralized blockchain that nobody controls, right? Listen to the spaces. That's what the Bitcoin maxis were screaming. Nobody controls it, Richard. How can you have a bug bounty program? Nobody controls it. How can you know, right? But what does Bitcoin have to offer? Like seriously, this is how stupid these folks are. They even made the argument that everything you do on ETH, they're building on Bitcoin, so you can. It's okay. So you're gonna build this on this hard to use network, as Richard Hart always says, called the spaghetti code. So you gotta have people build this. Hope this battle tested enough to where everybody don't start losing money left and right. Ethereum already got a leg up on you on that aspect. But then you want to take everything that Ethereum has done to make great, everything that you call Ethereum a shitcoin for, and you want to bring it to Bitcoin. Yeah, that's real original, folks. So you have Bitcoin, which is, like I said, quote unquote decentralized. Nobody owns it, but it does have nothing to offer. Everybody in the real world is chasing yield. I've been in the stock world, I've been in the forex world, I've been in all these worlds. People want yield. They want cash flow. They want whatever term you want to use for it. They want their money to make money while they sleep. Now, don't get me wrong. We also want insane price increase too. But during times of sideways market moving, when you're not getting the same price gain, you still want to make yield. But you can't do none of that with Bitcoin. Through hook or crook, you can't, or whatnot. And this is what people want. See, these folks, they fail to realize that what people want is more important than what they have to offer. Now, back when Bitcoin was doing moonshot numbers and stuff, that's what people wanted. But now Bitcoin ain't doing moonshot numbers. That is just that simple. So then you have Ethereum, right? And their argument is Ethereum is going to be turned to a corporation like Microsoft, right? So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the Ethereum Foundation, or whatever they're called, is very centralized and they could pull the plug anytime and they want to become tokenized, that equity and stocks and whatever, blah, 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 turn to what's called. Okay. So you have that. And then you have the fees on top. Well, what do we have that's coming out? We have Pulsechain, which is going to be decentralized in the sense of a Bitcoin. Immutable coding, right? That's what Richard preaches. No admin keys. I don't own it. He he may theoretically own a large portion of the supply, but he doesn't own it, right? No difference than Satoshi when Bitcoin first came out. He owned a large portion of the supply, right? People didn't mind that then, huh? But now all of a sudden it's a crazy thing. What can you do, right? What can we do with these people? These walking hypocrites. So you have a decentralized blockchain. Well, then what does it take from Ethereum again? Oh, it takes the whole system state. Take all the coins. Every coin's copied over. Transactions are cheaper, will be until it fills up. They're faster, more throughput. So you have a combination of the two top dogs. You have the quote unquote best things from both of their systems, right? And then if that wasn't good enough, you're bringing over a certified blue chip um, coin, Hex. Now, regardless to what y'all people may think about Hex or whatnot, and I don't know if there's Hex haters that listen to these videos or if there's Hex lovers, but whichever way, Hex is a blue chip crypto. It will be mentioned in the likes of the Ethereums, the Bitcoins, the Cardanos, the Solanas, the ones that everybody know about. That's what I'm saying is blue chip. And the reason why we mention that is because of the community, one, the founder, two, and just because the numbers is going to do. People really don't understand. This is one thing I've learned too. That a lot of these talking heads, they don't understand how price move, what affect price, and things of that nature. And if you think that Hex ain't going to shatter its all-time high on the next bull market when all the money starts flowing back into the market, you're stupid. It's just plain and simple. Just from a liquidity perspective, like it won't even take that much to do it. Last time I checked, there was like 120 million hex in the pools on Uniswap. So you're not even talking about a really large amount of liquidity that's put up or whatnot. So it's going to be an explosive upward chart or whatnot. And it's going to be an explosive upward chart on two chains or whatnot. So you bring it over a blue chip. So even if the folks from the other communities, the other big quote unquote big market cap cryptos didn't want to come over, you're coming with your own blue chip. You're coming to the table with this. So then mine is coming with an already certified heavyweight. You're going to be coming with a one of a kind decentralized exchange with no competition. And I spoke about this. I spoke about this before. There's not going to be no competition for Lord knows how long because it's going to take too much effort to compete with it. So let's put this all into perspective. Let's wrap this all into a nice, neat little package for the simple-minded people out there that still continue to doubt these things. And actually, I'm not going to call y'all simple-minded because technically it's not out. So I can't brag on it. I can't take no victory laps because it's not out or whatnot. We haven't seen how it's going to act, but I'm just assuming that Richard is going to uphold what he says that he's trying to strive for, and he's motivated by being great. Um, if you've ever read any autobiographies or watched any documentaries about these people, these once in a generation kind of people who are motivated by greatness, that their motivation is internal. They're not looking for the other things. They already have all the other things. Their only competition is themselves. Then usually, high percentage of the time, the things that they do, they set their mind to are great. They're life changing, they're life altering, and they go down in the history books. So, that being said, you have a blockchain that is going to combine the two behemoths that are currently occupying the space with the best of their features of both. Then you're bringing over a blue chipper during a bear market that's down. And then on top of that, you have the exchange that everybody's gonna have to use. Forget the deflationary part, forget the incentive token, forget all that. But you got that's coming. And it's gonna be like no other exchange out there. And then think about it from this perspective. Next bull market, when the next wave of crypto uh, investors and the speculators and all that enter the market, they're also chasing mad gains. Like it is okay in crypto to want to get incredibly rich. Like I don't know where this concept came, and this is another reason why I don't like them Bitcoin dudes. They make it seem like getting rich is a bad thing or whatnot. Last time I checked, times is hard out here for the average person. Times is hard out here for the person that's doing above average. So did you expect me to feel some kind of way because I can possibly invest in something different and get rich? You got the game fucked up. Like that's how. Oh man, like don't get me started on these folks again, man. This is how flawed their logic is, and that's why they're going to lose. Because why in the hell would you follow somebody who wants to sell you on a 3x when we can sell you on a 300x? Which one's going to feed your family? Huh? I'm not even talking about buying Lambos and flashy watches. Which one's going to feed your family? A 3x in 3 years or a 300x in 3 years? You can make the decision or whatnot. Uh, but you're going to have a whole new wave of people. They're going to be dipping their toes back in the crypto market. And they're just going to, from a logical perspective, degen into this. They're going to push this price up high because let's just be real. Nobody looks at crypto like stocks. None of the serious people do because we know that right now Amazon just did a stock split, Google just did a stock split, and I'm gonna say some numbers here, and if I'm wrong, don't jump down my throat. All right, my bad. But Amazon and Google are both trading around like $110 today, July 26th or whatnot. So their all-time high pre-stock split was, I'm just going to say around, let's just say $4,000 just to make math simple. So they're trading at $100. All-time high is $4,000, right? So that is approximately a 40x. That Amazon and Google would need to 40x their price after the stock split to get back to all-time high. How many cryptos we think are going to shatter 40x's during the next bull market? 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 366 on leap year. Yeah, nothing stopping it versus the stock market. Monday through Fridays, weekends and holidays off, you know, 9:30 Eastern time to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I think the safe bet is going to be this. So nobody looks at upward price movement and comparing those two worlds like they do or whatnot is the point I was trying to make. So you're going to have a bunch of stock people who maybe don't know nothing about it, but they've seen the gains and they want to at least try to get in the gains. But they're going to look at like, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that Bitcoin bottoms at 11, like I said earlier, and ETH, I'm just going to say, let's just say it bottoms at 1,000 just to make the math easier. So you got approximately a 6x, 6.9x to get back to the high of Bitcoin. I think ETH touched around 5,000 maybe, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a 5x to get back to the all-time high. So even if they manage to catch the bottom, and then we get back to their all-time highs. Those are 5x's. But let's just say that from the all-time high, we 2x that, right? So let's just say Bitcoin goes from 69, let's call it 70 to 140. And let's say Ethereum goes from 1,000 to 10,000. So you're talking about a 10x and a 13x? Come on. If you don't think that a Pulsechain, first of all, Hex right now going back to his all-time high is more than both of those numbers as far as X's. But if you don't think that Pulsechain and PulseX can at least outdo a 14x, come on, what world do you live in? Huh? Come on. Let's be real. Don't be unreasonable here. What world do you live in? Now, yes, I'm laying all these thoughts and opinions on you. And they are kind of strong thoughts and opinions or whatnot. But people just need to realize that if you are fortunate enough to be living in this time where you know about these things and you're fortunate enough to get in on one or both of the sacrifices or know that Hex is at 4 cent, then I think that you batting 100. You are really killing the game right now because I think it's safe to assume that when all the dust settles and clear, that I'm gonna take the guy that's driven by internal motivation to do whatever he has to do to have his name mentioned among the all-time greats when it's said and done, versus a couple of guys that claim they're in Bitcoin because it's going to change the world currency, or they're in it for the tech, but yet when Richard Hart gives them the floor and say, "Well, educate me," then all you hear is crickets. When Richard Hart goes off on his tangent, you got the main guy saying, "I'm gonna let the other guys go because I need to clearly researching. Hey guys, can you guys send me some information to say? I don't know what the hell to say. All I know to say is I'm in it for the tech and I'm in it for The other reasons are Bitcoin to 100,000. Yeah, I'm taking a guy that talks circles around these dudes. I'm taking a guy that's out creating, and I'm taking a guy that is so rich that he's just doing this stuff because he don't want to be known as just another rich guy. He want to be known as the rich guy. He wants to be known as the inventor. He wants to be known as the guy who can go and tell all these folks and say, nah, 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 boo, boo. I told you, you're wrong. I'm right. Kneel. Well, guys, gals, however you choose to identify, I think I've said enough for today. I just know that we're living in interesting times, and fortunately, we're living in a time where I think that we're well ahead of the curve, but things can get potentially spooky as far as mad, insane gains here in the next couple years, and that's all. That's all that that should be the number one thing on people's list. Um, Being able to feed your family. This world is crooked enough. These corporations and everybody they've played games with us for long enough. We've always caught, the shit end of every stick they had to give us when it came to wages, when it came to benefits, taxes. We always get done wrong. So hopefully this time, we get done right. So that being said, I wish nothing but the best for you and yours. And until the next episode, your boy is out.